Hey, can you all hear me? How are you? Yes. So, I decided halfway into the intro that I wanted to make a cappuccino. So, I rushed and quickly made a cup of cappuccino. And I just sat down, and now I'm like, whoa, I didn't really get to mentally prepare getting into the show like I normally do. And I don't have much prepared today anyway because, hold on, let me try to see how hot this is. Oh, that's quite nice. Quite nice. Warmed up milk. Ooh, so good. Mocha pot. Yeah, I don't really have too much prepared today anyway because it is the Omnia and Unum Day. It's Monday, which means all in one. So basically, whatever. It's a whatever day. We talk about whatever's going on. This is the day we can do it all in one day. And normally I like to get all dolled up and be presentable. I think it's really important. I think it's an important aspect of culture and fashion and society and all that stuff. But just sometimes, like, I can't be asked, you know? As they say in the UK, I can't be asked. So today I am wearing a t-shirt and a hoodie. So that's a rare one. You won't see that. People haven't seen that since high school, since like 2000, late 90s, 2000, 2001. So, yeah. Not a lot went on these past couple of days, says Jay. Yeah. Oh, that's so nice right now. Yeah, as far as Twitter goes, that's true. Last week we talked about simping versus chivalry, and that's always a great topic. You can always like jump in on that. Today I want to talk about possibly, I put down in my notes, so I'm just going with what I had on my schedule, was the importance of art and culture. And unfortunately, I did not get any like source material or anything. I did find some stuff in Gutenberg Press, that website, gutenberg.org. But it's, again, that really old-timey, like 1800s kind of copyright-free stuff. So it's just like super cumbersome. You don't need another day of me reading some bullshit to you. So I was like, don't really want to go there. Maybe we can just like Google some things or have an open discussion, open to talking with you guys, interacting with you guys a little bit more on this kind of day. So let's just like figure out where we want to go. But yeah, speaking of Twitter, let's just like get on there, I guess. See what's going on. Let's get this window capture device. Oh, that's it. Wait, hold on. Give me a second, guys. Sorry. Cool. I had to just pop out that YouTube thing because remember how last time I kept like going into that screen behind the scenes on YouTube that you were not supposed to see? Fuck, I love coffee so much. That was so good. I added some sugar in that, so it was like kind of sweet, and it was really good. Okay. This is my Twitter. If people are not following me on Twitter, get on Twitter if you're on Twitter. If you're not on Twitter, don't get on Twitter, because that shit is just like evil. This is some Inception type shit, because this is what we are on right now. So this is an interesting tweet. John Doe said, "We have artists living today capable of making works that would outshine the best of history's masters, and we're hearing almost nothing about them." I mean, that is true. And when you see what he's talking about, this is a painting, I guess. I don't know what material this is, but this is a painting. That's insane. Look at that. This is a painting. I mean, for sure the masters would marvel at this. That's insane. But, yeah, I was watching this video of a rug get flushed out from piss. This is hilarious too. It was the DC Examiner. They like deleted the tweet for some reason, but it's the, I don't know if you guys saw it, but holy shit. Hold on, we gotta watch this real quick. This is so bad. So that happens. That happens. So cringy. Yeah, exactly, Trumpler. Whew. Cap guns. Little calculus lesson for you guys. If you want to understand what an inverse function does, this is what an inverse function does. It takes a function and then it inverts it. Quick little calculus lesson right there. Isn't that mean? Amazing. These are just really two really cool photos. You guys remember that from those books? What was those books called? I forget. I had all those scary stories to tell in the dark and shit. And this one is just really cool. That looks so cool. Love that. Some modeling shit, some classical shit. There's a point here. I'm getting to it. Cool. This is just cool. Released in 1981 by the Osborne Computer Corp. The Osborne 1 is considered to be the first portable computer. Cool. What did it do? Insane. Ooh, let me see. What did it do? Absolutely nothing. That is so funny. What did it do? Give you poor eyesight? Absolutely nothing. Word processor, spreadsheets, database, programming languages, games, a beast. You had to plug it in though. Okay. Where was it? Oh yeah, right here. There we go. This was the point of getting on Twitter. So Jack Posobiec, who talks to me sometimes, is a very nice guy. He's a nice guy. And he made this, and he's very into the arts as well. He has a comic book himself, and he's often into these nerdy artsy things. So he said, conservatives mock the Oscars, but we have no comparable event because we have no comparable cultural outlets. The entertainment industry is a wholly owned subsidiary of the left, although that may be changing soon. So we often discuss like stuff about not having an outlet and forfeiting things to the left, and the right complaining but not doing anything about it, or supporting things being done about it. And there's a really good comment. Some things that we've definitely discussed here before but are worthwhile, especially for today's chat. Razor Fist. I don't think I was following him before, but following him now. He said Aristotle classified the arts as more important than history. History merely shows how men did act, while the arts show how men could and should act. No movement can prosper without artistic representation. The right abandoning them in the 60s effectively forfeit the culture. I mean, that's it. You know, we definitely are forfeiting it, and art is really important, and that is totally what today's topic is about. So I kind of made a note about that tweet, saw it real quick, I said, cool, that's something we can go off of, see what you guys have to say and where this conversation goes. But pretty much the right especially, I don't think really understand the importance of art has for culture. And when we talk about civilizations and great civilizations, it is always also a peak of art. And when we have these art history days, that also shows a connection between history and politics and art. And the importance of art history it's strange because it is really important, and one wouldn't think of art history that often, but there are connected art and history. Okay, let me just see what you guys are up to. Oh, we have a super chat. Great. That reminds me to chill a little bit. Let me just go back to this screen. We have Fuck Google 2 gave $5. Thank you. He said, for some reason I can't donate via Streamlabs. Oh no. What use is the quadratic formula? The quadratic formula, I believe you're talking about negative b plus or minus square root of 4 squared, b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And that finds the 2 points. Yeah, wait, what does it do? Doesn't it find the coordinates, like 2 points? It's something to do with like a parabola. Finds like 2 coordinates, like 2 points on that parabola, which is exactly what? I know that part of the quadratic formula, the negative b over 2a, is the vertice of the parabola. Oh my god, now we're getting into this math shit. What are you doing to me? Shit. Yeah. I mean, that's fun. We can get into it. I mean, I'm not like a super like, I haven't done math in ages, so I'm not like, it's people that are just like fresh out of university doing that shit. They know that better than me. Art is important for feelers, said Infinity 528, affirmation, audios. Nonetheless, most people to keep sanity. Some have a need to express themselves, but some awe in it, and to keep sanity and cope with feelings, possibly find meaning as well. Yeah, definitely. I mean, art touches on emotions, but there's a relationship with like history because it shows what was going on like at the time as opposed to what people are saying about a time that existed before them. So it's like in the moment, what was going on, for what it was. It's really crazy. And art is, I mean, art in, as far as history, it was really important before the camera, the invention of the camera, because art played a huge role in keeping historical things alive and depicting things and being hired to depict things. We didn't have printers, we didn't have cameras, we didn't have those things, so artists were really, really important for that, and it just like sustained history. AK said, art, or at least creativity, memes, parodies, etc., is one of the most vital things about the new right, and probably the domain of political action in which the right has been most effective. Yeah, I agree with you, and I've talked about that as well on another, like, years ago on my YouTube. I was bitching about stuff in right-wing art, and I was saying that when they're like, oh, well, we have to, like, adopt the tactics of the left because we're losing, blah, 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 we're losing. I was like, how are we losing? Like, we won, like, our memes are art, like, everything definitely consider memes art and all that, but I think that we got stuck in 2016, and I think that making a bigger impact and like, you know, the long march through the institutions and more things outside of just like internet culture need to also be affected at this point. We can't just like continue on this whole 2016 meme war stuff, but like we have to take the next level, and I don't think that is respected by like mainstream conservatism or even like I mean, I think another topic of conversation for these Mondays will also be perhaps even something that I have written about for years and address quite often is about the nudity in art. I've talked to Pastor Ashcraft. He has come on my show one time when I was doing interviews, and we've talked about it. This pastor is really a great guy and really well-rounded about the arts and culture and all that stuff, and just also religious. So yeah, AK said, I completely agree, Martina. We need to go further, do something else. Yeah, and I think that's the next level, but we're like stuck, and we've complained about this. I think we have some new people in here that haven't heard me complain a million times from like years ago, but it's about taking the next step, pushing like what kind of stuff do we want to replace the things we are complaining about. And that is why we're forfeiting culture currently. And I think that we were on a really good path and a really good trend. I had a lot of hope. You know, I ruined my career and my life went to hell, and I was okay with it because I had hope. But that hope is like crashing now because I'm just realizing that we have mainstream conservatism that doesn't really understand like the arts like truly, and so they don't really have a respect for it, and so mainstream doesn't care. There is no funding the way that the Baroque art had funding, and they understood the importance of tapping into people's emotions and feelings through art. The Catholic Church had that understanding and funded the arts. Like, we don't have that anymore. So like you say, the only thing that there was is like the internet culture. I think we need to expand beyond that, do the long march into the institutions like the left did, get back into those mainstream things and into the institutions, get back into Hollywood. The golden age of Hollywood was when it was Republican. We have had it before. We just need to kind of like regroup and take it back and turn it into what we want. Instead of complaining about the left, complaining about the Oscars or whatever, get in and turn it into what you want. You want to see awesome filmmaking, you want to see wholesome shit, you want to see stuff with whatever it is that you want to see. Work on getting into those things. It's not all about being e-celebs, it's about being a teacher, getting into those institutions so it's less leftist, working at those places and influencing children. Go be a filmmaker, do whatever. You don't have to pipe up on Twitter or publicly or whatever all the time and get into it. Just like go in and do whatever it is that you do best. I mean, I am not a good podcaster. I'm not a good streamer. I'm not a good pundit. I'm not a good writer. I am not the best editor, but I do actually kind of like video editing. But I am a really good performer, and that's what I meant to do, and that's what I need to be going out and doing, is putting my touch on the performing arts in the city and in this movement, in this time and place in history, and I do it my way, sharing alchemical concepts through art and things like that I believe in. So that's my way of doing it. Everyone has to do it their own way. But yeah, as far as like, someone was saying that it's sad that memes and parodies are the most vital thing to push political action, people. But, then I have the issue with the meme culture and the internet culture, because I feel like a lot of them are really taking on a LARPy kind of aspect. And just like I talked to Pastor Ashcraft, and the way that just like Pastor Ashcraft and sorry, I should put my phone away. I get really distracted sometimes. And yeah, and like the Catholic Church during the Baroque era and everything, there was nudity. And I think with pornography and issues going on nowadays, young men and people are very confused about nudity and what is pornography or art, and the human body in general and nudity in general. They have a skewed viewpoint of sexuality because of all these things, so it's gotten really confusing. And I think that's definitely a topic we can explore. Maybe I should put that down in my notes, but I think that's also an issue with them appreciating, in particular, my type of artwork. So I have that issue with that internet world anyway. So I feel kind of just stuck in between, nowhere with a home, nowhere that kind of understands me or accepts me. But I think it makes sense in my world. Yeah, in my world, it's a bit like lonely, as it always is. Why am I so lonely? The outcast among the outcasts. The outcast of the outcast of the outcast that people don't really acknowledge as being the outcast. They go, oh, but you're a girl. You have it so easy. Yeah. Whatever. Want to trade? Alright, where are we at? What are we doing? Maybe we can read some of those comments on that. I mean, it was a good thread. It's really interesting stuff. Shit, now that cappuccino makes me want to pee. It also makes me want another cappuccino. Oh. Let me see what you guys are saying. Oh yeah, let me not forget to shill now that I have your attention. So thank you, Fuck Google too. You're always around. You're amazing. Thank you. If you guys want to help me out, this is what I'm doing right now. That is my goal for the month. So I want to hit 50% by the end of the week. And you can help that goal by hitting up streamlabs.com/Martina Markota TV. That always really helps. There's PayPal there if you want to just avoid the whole situation. But, thanks. This is what I'm doing. Gotta pay rent and shit. Really helps me out. But yeah, I think that I need to now start incorporating in my days, now that I have my apartment, I have my computer, I'm chilling, I'm in a routine, I'm streaming every day. But now I need to focus on actually getting bookings for Lady Alchemy, because that's what I need to be doing. I need to be doing Lady Alchemy. I don't know what I'm doing on these streams. This is ridiculous. But until I sort that out, that would be really helpful, guys. Thanks. Let's be lonely together. Damn, the cappuccinos make me go to the bathroom. Now I have to pee. Okay, we're 34 minutes in. When's the Alchemy stream? The Alchemy streams are Wednesday and Thursday. I don't think I did it on Thursday, but I did do a Wednesday one. I had some event to attend on Thursday, so I had to skip it. If there's something to attend, you have to take it, because in New York City, that's the way things happen. You attend things, and then so you have to take that opportunity when it comes. And then you meet people and you do things and you get opportunities. Have to be. Maybe I should just do a quick commercial. Sorry to do that to you guys, but I have to pee. Alright, just like chill for a little bit. Let me see what I have as far as commercials go. Tinder advertisement. Okay. Give me a second. No. Yes. Streams. Commercials. Do. See you guys in a few minutes. Gonna go to the bathroom. Oh, sorry. Anyway, thank you. I make visual effects. That's what Lady Alchemy does. That was me in various forms of states. And that was a short piece, a little commercial to one of my pieces called Negretto, which let me show it to you. Shall I? I guess it's the whatever stream. Nope, not that. Ooh. Oh, fuck. I keep fucking up this.
Only the special ones are chosen. Quote.
Oh. Okay. Let me fix that. So I have that widget. I'll bring that up to the top so next time that plays right above. Sorry about that. Let me do the same thing in the other one. Okay. And let me go to that comment. Hollywood God, oh hey, $20, thank you, yay! Said only the special ones are chosen. Yes. Chosen special ones. Anyway, so let's go back to what I was going to show you was that little clip that you guys were asking about. If you go to lady-alchemy.com, part of my website, if you go to performance art, there's different options, and this is under installation art. And there's two videos. I think this is the 1 minute video, and then there's a 9-minute full-length video of the performance art pieces. It's really, really cool. I really encourage you guys to watch it. It was a live piece that I did about Negretto. It's the first phase of the alchemical process. It's the initial phase, and it marks the death or destruction of the original form, the prima materia, to form the chaos, suffering, or pain. In other words, black phase includes the beginning of the spiritual process of ascent, which must first come with the abandonment of all old habits, relationships, and dependencies of the material world outside. Only then the purified soul becomes free to reunite with rejuvenated prima materia. And alchemy negretto, or blackness, means putrefaction or decomposition. The alchemists believed that as a first step in the pathway to the philosopher's stone, all chemical ingredients had to be cleansed and cooked extensively to a uniform black matter. In analytical psychology, the term became a metaphor for the dark night of the soul, when an individual confronts the shadow within. So yeah, I encourage you guys to watch the full length. It's really cool. I think, yeah, this video is the one you guys saw. Yeah. Anyway. What am I doing? What am I doing here? Jay. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yeah, I didn't realize like exactly how Croatian I was until like I got older, and I was like, I'm fucking Croatian as shit. I mean, I did know because I was like bilingual when I was younger, and then I grew out of it. But I don't know, it's weird. Like, it's weird being like first generation and like being Croatian, but then like being Americanized. It's weird. It's different. What were we doing? Okay, we're on here. I don't know. I think it was just bullshitting now. Now I don't know really what we're getting into. We were talking about the importance of art and why the, you know, I feel a bit lonely because I don't think mainstream conservatism understands the appreciation for art and getting into the institutions, the long march into the institutions. People just want to complain, but we need to focus on what it is that we are complaining about and what we want to do to replace it and support that. If you're not a creator yourself, you support it. If you're not really a position to be championing anything, go create, get in, do whatever it is that you do best, and hit that up. Just want you guys to wrap back into this conversation. You're not lonely, your voice just isn't elevated. Yeah, exactly, but that's kind of the point, is that we need to elevate those things. Not necessarily just me, but like that's why I want to work with Metacog stuff, which is like curating content and help elevate those voices. But there needs to be some sort of backing like the Catholic Church has done before. I think that is what the left has done with like Hollywood or whatever, but it's starting to become obvious and fake. But it is like an interesting point to take, because they are taking culture, they understand the point of culture, and I don't think the right really does that. We just think that like when Kanye says something crazy, to like latch onto that and make it like super MAGA, and it's like whoa, we don't need them to go super MAGA. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is be like Mel Gibson, guys, okay? Based Mel Gibson, okay? He is, just makes really good work, but all of his work really has those messages that are like right-wing, you know? All of them. I mean, there's the Jesus movies, and there's the Passions, and then there's, you know, Apocalypto, and it shows the savagery of the savages. And but one of the ones that I saw a few years ago that he did, which one was it? Hacksaw Ridge. That one was also a true story. It was done incredibly well. You don't have to just support it because he's one of us. It's like he's a really good filmmaker. He just really is very talented, very genuine doing it. But ultimately, instead of making faith look stupid, making faith look wrong, which is often what I think Hollywood does. Like sometimes, let me just switch screens. It's just on this Twitter. Oftentimes, like for example, a few years ago, around this time when I saw Hacksaw Ridge, I like to have things on in the background, stupid shit. And there was this one show and had something with a halo or whatever, and it had to do something about being like Catholic or whatever, Christian. And so I kind of was like, and it was like family oriented, and it was like, you know, I like the Goldbergs and things that are like family oriented like that, Wonder Years, those types of things. So I was like, oh, let me check this out. And what it did was make fun of the religious mom, the Christian mom, and it made her look stupid, it made her look ignorant, it made her look backwards. And the whole plot of the show was like that the boy has a really Christian mom and that he's gay. And it's like, how does the mom deal with this being so backwards and Christian? And so that is always annoying to see those kinds of things whenever religion, faith is like brought up. But then to have Mel Gibson in a really, really good film and a really interesting story about in history, and portray faith in the noble way, a way of like selflessness, and just love, and make it just shine. That is what I'm talking about. It's not about writing MAGA on you and going out there into the world. Right, let me just see where you guys are at. Dark Night of the Soul in Modern Music. Thanks for the link. It's a 500-year-old poem. Cool. Thank you, Alex D. Check out that link. I'm not sure if it's clickable, but maybe Jay can check it out. Double check that link, Jay. A little off topic. What is the line that divides erotic nude art from pornography, in your opinion? Apocalypto is fucking brilliant, even though it's not entirely historically accurate. Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, I feel like Mel Gibson does a lot of research, even with Passion. What was like the language that they speak and stuff back then? I'm not sure. But like he made sure that everything was pretty accurate or whatever. Of course, everyone has their biases, so naturally, of course, he's not. It's not the word of God, but it's really good, and I think he tries to be pretty accurate. He's a really good filmmaker. Um, AK said, but even Mel Gibson has been struggled to regain access to Hollywood as a platform. How do we rebuild institutions if we can't regain access? Well, yeah, I mean that's because Mel Gibson like made a mistake. Like why do we call him Base Mel? Because he like had raged out and said a lot of inappropriate things, and it's really funny, but it's also taken extremely seriously, especially in Hollywood, especially in that industry, especially the things that he said, and it's just he definitely put a target on his back in that industry. But the thing is, he was already so big. He was a huge household name at that point already. So even though he did that to himself, he was already really big, and that's why he was able to like continue to the point of making those films and continuing his directing career and doing like whatever. So he has been able to make an impact. Yeah, he's hurt himself, but he's still in it a little bit. But you don't want to go that far and get drunk and say like dumb shit, some Fed posty shit. But you want to just get in and do his type of work. If you got in quietly and did his type of work, you would do incredibly well. You would just be like conservative on the down low, like whatever. You don't have to go around parading your political opinions. Okay, now we got people talking Croatian in here. Okay, so hiding your power level. Okay, I guess. Aramaic was the language spoken. Thank you for that, 82 RNM and AK. Maria Markovic speaking Croatian to me. I'm sorry, I don't know how to read Croatian. I started becoming Americanized around the whole reading writing era. Okay. Anyway, what were we saying? Yeah, just making art and culture. But anyway, let's look up some things. Because we can always just like Google some shit too and get into this conversation. But like I said, there is the Baroque era, which we've gone over, and it talks about, and it just sticks in my head, about the Catholic Church funding the arts because they understood around the whole Counter-Reformation time this like, hey, we got to get everyone's influence, and how do we do that? And they had this whole campaign funding the arts, and that's why we have the Sistine Chapel. We have just amazing architecture and works of art from that time period depicting a lot of religious things to get into the emotions and feelings of the people. And that is why it is so important for society. It has shaped movements. We've also done a stream about Dadaism, and that was also hugely associated to politics and culture. It was a time where what was it? It wasn't Berlin. It went to Berlin second, but it started, I feel like Amsterdam or something, like random, some like Dutch thing. And yeah, it was something about oh my god, let's go over it again. Dada is something about the war, and then having this like reaction to it, and it was like this whole political thing. And Switzerland, yeah, I felt like it wasn't it like a neutral country that for some reason this like political art movement started. But yeah, it's Switzerland, yeah, Zurich, at the Cabaret Voltaire. New York Dada began circa 1950. And then after 1920, Dada flourished in Paris. Yeah, European avant-garde movement of the 20th century. I'm so bad at this. I wish I could just, like, memorize, like, quips and things. I'm just like, yeah, you know, Dadaism. Art, politics, weird. 1920s. Yeah, New York. Let me see. How would I pronounce my surname? I mean, there's Markota or Markota, if you asking me how my Croatian way. Markota. Okay. What are we talking about? It's me chiming in there. Yeah. I don't know. I think we're handling it, but... Art influences society by changing opinions, instilling values, and translating experiences across space and time. Research has shown that art affects the fundamental sense of self. Painting, sculpture, music, literature, and the other arts are often considered to be the repository of a society's collective memory. And I think that's really the important bit of that, is like, if we want to be a civilized society of great culture, then, I mean, I don't know really what else it is outside of the arts when we talk about a great civilized society, because it's architecture, form of art, literature, form of art, music, you know, all this stuff, like, that is when it flourishes. Civilizations flourish when we have these, like, great things. And so I think it's really important for us, and this is why all of these streams kind of come together with, like, etiquette and art history and all that stuff, and alchemy, is that, like, this whole package of learning how to be not only a better person, but, like, implementing the value of education, because we have, as conservatives, been told that, like, obviously institutions are leftist and school is terrible, it's a bad investment, you're paying more and more money, it's getting more and more expensive, get less and less valuable. Obviously it sounds terrible, it's super leftist, indoctrination camps, the whole thing. However, I don't think that the idea of education is bad, and I think that's a really important distinction that we have to make. Education is good, culture, art is good. We need to be, oh my god, it's just like full-on Croatian going on. But yeah, we want to be learning as much as possible. We want to be spiritual. I don't think there's a separation between the sciences and faith, which is why the alchemy streams are really great as well. All of these things is what creates great societies and civilizations, and we need to focus on that instead of, yeah, trolling has a purpose, we can troll every once in a while, like, whatever, like, I get it, we can have a troll army, cool, you want to be part of that, but I think that the bigger picture is shaping that world that we want to live in. And Jay comes in with the hola, ¿cómo estás? Nah, you're in my world now. Now we have some, like, Croatian Slav shit going on over here. Welcome to my world. This is like Bubba and my mom having a conversation. And it's like every once in a while I recognize something. I'm like, oh, I know what you said there. And you know what's funny, Jay, actually? When I do want to interject, I sometimes want to revert to Spanish. It's really funny because I'm just like, shit. I studied Spanish in school, so it's easier for me to just like kind of like say that. But Croatian, I kind of started phasing out by like speaking back in English, and my mom and Bubba talking to me in Croatian and stuff, and replying back in English. So it's like I don't speak back Croatian, but I can understand a little more than I can say. And I definitely can't read or write in it. Except reading it is kind of easy because it just sounds like the way you read it. So I can figure out what they're saying, but I can't respond back. Anyway, back to the importance of art and culture. So let's see these like websites. Okay. What is the importance of art? We have like, what is this? What are some great like times in history that we can look at and we can go over there? Well, I guess that's what like art history is. We're gonna do that in art history tomorrow. We'll go over it tomorrow. But I want to see the importance of art and culture. Even if it's a leftist thing, it's interesting to see the mentality. Do I want to read this? It is not that long. Just trying to pick out something that's important in it, maybe, or if I should just read it along with you. But anyway, last week I witnessed the unveiling of an extraordinary sculpture at Heathrow's new Terminal 2. I've been there. Slipstream is inspired by the aerodynamic path of a stunt plane and its apparently fluid 78-meter, 77-ton whale of riveting aluminum that's emerged from the imagination of its creator, Richard Wilson. It will certainly impress tourists and add luster to Britain's creative image abroad. Ooh. But its economic benefit is not really why many of us loved it. We found it exciting, elevating, and romantically redolent of our flying and manufacturing past. So Slipstream reminded us that the primary reason we make both public and private investments in the arts is for the inherent value of culture, life-enhancing, entertaining, defining of our personal and national identities. Yeah, and that's true too. Is like without art, what is this whole fight with tearing down monuments? Because the monuments are sculptures, and sculptures are arts. And if you can think about the whole concept of the meaning behind the sculpture and also materials, you know, it's like, how nice would, like, you know, this is a concrete sculpture. It's great. It's fantastic. And it's definitely a material. It's definitely used. It's definitely a permanent structure. But just thinking about some of these that are like chiseled out of marble or whatever, that also shows, like, I like materials and quality. So, for example, with like the vintage clothes and clothing in general and stuff, when I go shopping, I love materials. I like real cotton. I like silk. I like leather. I like real thing. I like wool. I like real things. So it's kind of like similar with the sculpture. I'd be like, ooh, we have marble and brass or whatever. So there's the materials. There's what you're doing, what it represents. There's totally a purpose for it, and it's really important for culture and whatever it is that society is trying to represent at that time. National identities. When I bang the drum for this investment with national and local governments, with philanthropists, charities, and companies, a consensus is emerging as to why this is so important. It starts with the inherent value of culture. Yes, continues through all the social and educational benefits and only ends with the economic. Otherwise, we fall into Oscar Wilde's celebrated definition of a cynic, knowing the price of everything and the value of nothing. We instinctively know this. Imagine society without civilizing. Isn't it weird how Brits spell civilization? This is a British computer that I have too, Mac, with me. So whenever I like write civilization the American way with the Z, it like tells me it's wrong. I'm like, no, no, it's not. And I used to yell at Jack if he spelled civilizing this way on like correcting like my scripts or something. And I'm like reading it in the teleprompter and it says this. I'm like, no, I can't read it like that. Anyway, imagine society without the civilizing influence of the arts, and you'll have to strip out what is most pleasurable in life, and much that is educationally vital. Take the collective memory from our museums, remove the bands from our schools and choirs from our community, lose the empathetic plays and dances from our theaters or the books from our libraries, expunge our festivals, literature, and painting, and you're left with a society bereft of a national conversation about its identity or anything else. I mean, wow. That is pretty true. That is pretty true. Britbon computer. Culture, says Rainbow. All right, you guys are just Croatianing it up over there. Anyway, but yeah, I mean, art is all over the place. It's everything. So when people who scoff at art don't really respect it, I mean, they need to just sit back and think like, what are these, what are these award shows they're complaining about? What are these movies they're having conversations about? What shows are they constantly talking about on Netflix? What music are they listening to? Whether it's mainstream or not mainstream, everyone has some sort of outlet that they are going to for that. And so there has to be some sort of respect, and it shapes everything. That's why we are complaining about it with the left, because it's shaping our culture. So what side of the conversation do you want to be on this? Bitching about it or making it and supporting it? Get with it. Then there's society, and sorry about the hissing. It's the radiator. Sorry about it. Yeah, I'll just wait for a second. If I hear culture one more damn time. Sorry, culture. I want another cappuccino or a water. That'll do. All right. It's a smoke grenade. The Chinese authorities are coming for you. China? I mean, maybe. It's kind of funny that, like, I have visited both China and Russia. Two pretty controversial countries. I've been there. I'm like some sort of spy. If I were a spy, that would be cool. I always wanted to work for like CIA or some shit, but they really are the bad guys, I guess. Sometimes they'll come after you. I think that's the problem. Is they're just so nasty. They'll come after you, even if you're one of them. So it's like, fuck off. Okay, going through this article. Then there's society, and I think we're all now agreed that there is such a thing. Although the arts do not pretend to be a frontline health service, we're coming to understand how they can function very effectively in a complementary role. Oh my god, this radiator, I swear to god. I don't know if you can hear it, but it's just like it's constant buzz. Shit. Tea's ready. You can hear her, right? Oh my god. I'll try. I'll try. I hate this so much. I hate streaming. It's getting louder now. Now it's not like tea kettle. It's like a pushing sound. Anyway. Look at the work of orchestras such as the Royal Philharmonic, which runs workshops for people with dementia. Oh, that's lovely. Or the collaboration between the Royal Liverpool Philharmonic and NHS Mercy Trust, which puts musicians and residents to work with adults with a complex range of mental health issues. That's lovely, too. There's the Sick Festival, confronting, as they put it, the physical, mental, and social challenges of life and death. There's the popularity of the books on prescription scheme and GPs, surgeries. They call doctors surgeries. It's just a general doctor, GP. Or the work done by Colchester and Ipswich museums for homeless people. All of these projects are supported by Arts Council England, that is, by you and me via our taxes or our purchase of lottery tickets. In 18 years, the National Lottery has transformed arts provision across so many of our communities and has been particularly valuable with government funding has been under pressure. Great art and culture really can be, as it should be, for everyone. Okay, so just obviously, this is The Guardian. So The Guardian is a British news outlet, so this is like British. This is not like America. So no, we don't have that. It would be interesting to see what sort of things we do have, because we do have funding for the arts and certain things, and there's stuff, but it's all generally lefty type things, as this would be in the UK as well too. But obviously, this is, I think, part of their taxes is what they're talking about, that there are projects and some of these operations are funded through by you, me, whatever. When they said that, means they're by taxes. Via our taxes or our purchases of lottery tickets and government funding. Government funding has been under pressure. Great art and culture really can be, as it should be, for everyone. There's a strong relationship between arts and cultural engagement and educational attainment. We see an improvement in literacy when young people take part in drama and library activities, and better performance in maths and languages when they take part in structured music activities. That's true. That's particularly why the Department for Education is including art subjects with the core subjects in math, science, languages, and humanities in the first round of reformed GCSEs. That's like in 2 years' time. That's like their degrees or whatever they have in like their schools. I'm from New York, which is one of the toughest requirements. I went to like one of the best schools in the nation. We had High Regents diploma is what we did, and that required, being a High Regents diploma required you taking some sort of years of the arts as well. And in fact, I over supplemented my arts electives to replace some of my language. That was actually a weird loophole that you could do. So I was in band and art. That's why I took art history, and I did art portfolio, some AP classes and IB classes and stuff. But basically, if we're talking about the degrees, that was part of our curriculum. We had to take some arts. And our universities are supporting art galleries, Northumbria, East Anglia, Teesside, theaters, Derby, craft centers, Sunderland, museums, Oxford and Cambridge, because they recognize the value of culture to their students and to their locality. The inherent value of culture, its contribution to society, its symbolic relationship with education, and yes, its economic power, but in that order. This is what we call the holistic case for public support of arts and culture. The Arts Council's annual survey of public attitudes to this investment shows support rising significantly this year. Let's keep the debate going. I predict that in the run-up to the next election, where economic issues will dominate, the arts will have more to say for themselves than ever before, particularly in relation to intriguing elements, the creative industries, and the thinking about our cities of the future. The creative industries have been growing 3 times as fast as the national economy. Last summer, in an infamous list of priority sectors for growth, the Department for Business, Innovation, and Skills left them out but included offshore wind turbines. Okay, but they won't do that again. They're just talking about the fucking... Oop, shit. They're like British. They're British shit. But anyway, as the creative sector grows in importance, the role of arts and culture as an incubator of talent will be better understood. I think Steve McQueen going from Turner Prize winner or Danny Boyle from Apprentice directing at the Royal Court Theatre to delivering Oscar-winning movies. Okay. It's increasingly accepted that cities are going to deliver our economy's growth in the future. Greg Clark from the Conservatives and Andrew Adonis from Labour are both doing some good work thinking about that's interesting. Included some conservatives in here, but conservative in the UK is different from conservative in the US, but it's still not that bad. It's increasingly accepted that cities are going to deliver our economy's growth in the future. Greg Clark from the Conservatives and Andrew Adonis from Labour are both doing some good work thinking about how to turbocharge urban centers. They'll be aware of how the Turner Contemporary has led to the regeneration of Margate, how the Nottingham Contemporary is at the heart of Creative Quarter, how festivals drive tourism in Liverpool. Yeah, Liverpool is when the last time I was at a museum. I was in Liverpool. It was cool. The new city quarters where young people want to live, work, create companies, need a soul as well as a sewer. Yeah, I mean, that's true. Anywhere just like nice, it's cultural, has art everywhere, sculptures and things. Let's just wrap it up. In this budget this year, George Osborne introduced a tax credit for the performing arts. This essentially recognized that the arts are part of the creative industries. Film, television, drama, and computer games already receive the same concession. And why are these sectors helped in this way? Because they don't only matter to the economy, they critically represent an investment in our quality of life. I call that virtuous circle, something which is, by definition, holistic. Chair of the Arts Council in England. Okay, so this person like knows about like the arts shit and stuff, writes for them. So I mean, this is interesting. This is definitely British. It's The Guardian, but they make a good case for some important aspects of why art is important for society and culture. Video games are art, says Jay. They're Britbong bullshit. GCSE is high school, said Stephen Forex, so they talked about that. Stephen Forex said there has been much criticism of elitist funding of the Royal Opera House, etc., where most plebs can't afford to ever visit. Yeah, that's interesting, you know. That's why there needs to be a relationship with funding people of money philanthropy and the arts. And usually, you know, a lot of artists are not really that good with like the money aspect of stuff. So they kind of need each other to really make an impact. And there's people with lots of money that want to make an impact that way, but they don't particularly create anything. So they're able to help. It's just a matter of finding those people and connecting them to artists and making sure people that have that kind of money are interested or aware of influencing society this way and how they can make an impact by supporting the arts. It's really important. 16 million went into the opera in London. Jeez. I do love opera, though. Opera's fabulous. I want to go to the opera. Anyway. So, let me just like chit chat with you guys a little bit. We can digest some of that. Stephen was definitely picking it up. Stephen Forex is British, so you can kind of understand and pick up some of those things that I was babbling about because they make more sense to him. So I would like to hear those points. That's always good. But if you guys have anything else to contribute to the conversation, I mean, tell me if you think art is not important or what have you. Well, here's an interesting graph that I just popped up, speaking of elites. This is a blog, so it's just someone on here. It's theartist.me. And I think this is a Van Gogh. I think he did a lot of these rooms and stuff. Let me just make sure you guys can see, yeah. But yeah, this is what is art, and they have the dictionary definition. Basically making shit. What is art? Making shit. Creative work of a human being, a form of expression. Making something visually entertaining. An activity that manifests the beauty. What is beauty in art? Oh, Roger Scruton can talk to you about that. The mastery, an ideal way of doing things. Why is art important? Probably the best theory that I like, which best explains why art is important, is from Van Jones. Subtly provides a great response to what is art. Van Jones represented a graph that accurately represents the interaction between the four aspects of society and its different members. Consequently, Jones depicts why is art important to our society. The graph below represents our society. Society is driven by the powerful elites, the dependent masses, government, cultural producers, and artists. Okay. So we have elites and the masses, action, and ideas. So elites that do action are inside PACs and lobbyists. Elites that have the ideas, policy, think tanks. And the masses that have ideas are artists, cultural producers, and the masses that do action are organizers, grassroots. Okay. On the inside, there's big money. Elites are spending millions of dollars to influence politicians and policymakers. The inside act has the power to influence policy creators. On the outside, we have grassroots set our expectations and needs so that the elected candidates pass laws that give us power. Masses reflect what society really wants, hearts. Huh, alright, I mean, it's interesting. I'm not going to take it for the gospel, though. Oh my god. No, I have not heard of automatinophobia. Have you ever been scared by a statue? No, I don't think so. I think I like statues. Yeah. That's crazy, though. Alright, guys. Have to chill. It's chill time. I might have to go to the bathroom again. Well, no, not the bathroom. Maybe make another cappuccino. And might need another commercial break. Might be that time. But, guys, come on. Let's get this number to go to 40% by the end of the stream. Okay, guys? 40%. This number, and you go to that link. Am I pointing it the right way? This way. That link. Those living statues kind of creep me out all at Disney. I don't know. Never been to Disney. Don't know what you're talking about. But I've done some real life statue dancing stuff. And that's awesome. I want to do that more often. It's cool. Shit. This radiator is really pumping. It's getting hot in here now. I have this light going. But we'll continue this conversation. Let me know what you guys are thinking. I've been saying some pretty good points. I don't know about you guys, where your head's at, but I've made some solid points that I'm pretty sure if a dude out there said or tweeted would get like 1 million hits. And it's totally unique. So think about what we've been talking about. The contribution to society, the importance of replacing the culture we're complaining about, the idea of being all about knowledge and learning and mastery. Hollywood God, I want to see that. Send me a link. And on that, I'm going to put the commercial back on. Jay, I do appreciate you say that I have a good voice, because I do not think so. I hate my voice. But, anyway. Let's go to it. I'm going to have this play up to the point where the coffee's made. It should be fine, but it'll loop back around. So I'll see you guys in a few minutes. cappuccino. It's probably really hot. Yeah. So, how are you guys doing? What's going on? What are you talking about? Oh, thank you, Nation State. Nice to see you in here. I'm not sure if you just got in here, but check out the earlier part of the stream. We've been on for about an hour and a half, so yeah, catch up. Oh, thank you, Rainbow, for getting everybody into the, get them into the game. Thank you, thank you. Yes, I would love to voice a female villain or hero, but villain's cool too. And also, Hollywood God, if you want to send me anything, you can, yes, send it to Jay. Please do that. Jay will handle everything. Other than if you just can't do that, it's too complicated, you could always just email me. It's Martina Markota, nyc@gmail.com. That should also be up here, and my PayPal link is my email that you can always send actual emails and things to. So you can always use that. Just let me know. But go through Jay, because I'm busy like clicking a million different things, and I'm already a boomer and get distracted with things as it is. So try not to distract me. Send it to Jay if you can. It really helps. Anyone with a wrench, really. Where are we at? We're just looking at this thing. Impact on politics, culture, and people. Art is very important in the society because it is an essential ingredient to empowering the hearts of people. That's why the Catholic Church did it. When activists are showing images of children suffering from poverty or oppression in their campaigns, this is the art pulling the heartstrings of society's elite and powerful to make changes. And that's certainly what art was used for. Also, like I said before, the invention of photography or printers or anything like that. They commissioned artists to make things, but it can still happen in a grassroots way. Certainly that's the memes that we've been talking about on the right. That would be the grassroots aspect of this, is the campaigns and pulling on the heartstrings and stuff. Similarly, when photographers publish the photos of war-torn areas, it catches the attention of masses whose hearts reach out for those who need help. When an artist creates great music and movies, it entertains people around the world. This is art making a difference in society. I've also done a video at Rebel one time, something about movies too, about them having a formula that they know how to tap into. There's certain aspects, is like it's formulaic about movies, how to tap into the audience's emotions. There's like certain formulas to making a movie and like character things or whatever. And yeah, so it's interesting. It's like you can tap into emotions scientifically and create stuff artistically that can have an impact on someone in such a great way that is like almost magical. All right, Jay, if you want to send it to me or show it, if it's fine, just please screen it, Jay, and just post it into the chat if it's good. A very modern example of art in action is street art. When the famous Italian street artist Blue created the mural in Kreuzberg, it sparked a lot of strong, different reactions that were rooted deeply into the differences between East and West Berlin. Who would have thought that a wall painting depicting two masked figures trying to unmask each other could elicit such strong reactions? Now the issue behind this mural is totally different matter to discuss, but whether or not effects of the mural was good, it cannot be denied how well crafted piece of art can have great impact on society. Let me see what you guys are up to real quick. By the way, sorry for the quality. I'm still using Window Movie Maker. Here's the link. Oh god, okay. Let me screen this shit. So, sorry. So did you make that music? Is that what that is? Did you make that audio? Well, that's interesting. So you titled it, sorry, going back. What's the oh my god, Jay? Tell me the oh my god. Just add it to my clips. What does that mean? Should I add it to my commercials is what you're saying? But yeah, no, so I was looking up the title that you named it, the Amaterasu Sun Goddess, and you did some of my, is this playing on the right screen? I don't think it's playing on the right screen. And so I was like, wait, what's that? Is he like pulling a fast one on me with some weird language usage? But it's some Japanese sun goddess thing. So that's cool. Yeah, totally. Got the sun goddess reference. Cool, cool. Oh, oops. Very cool. But yeah, this is some of my sun goddess costume things, and thank you. Cool. I'll add it to my jams. All right. So what else do we have here? Art is also a remarkable mode of depicting culture from all over the world. When you see a Zen garden in Sydney or San Francisco, you know that it's a practice that originated from China. Likewise, when you see paper swans swarming a beautiful wedding ceremony, you know that this is origami, an art that came from Japan. When you see films featuring Bollywood music and dancing, you know that it's a movie from India. Art has the power to take cultural appropriation. Kidding. Take cultural practices, cultural appreciation, from where they are from, and then transport and integrate them into different parts of the world without losing their identity. There, these art forms can be used to entertain, create awareness, and even inspire foreigners to accept these cultures, no matter how strange or alien they may seem. And that's exactly what John Dewey implies in art as an experience. John Dewey. Why do I know John Dewey? That name sounds really familiar. American philosopher, psychologist, and educational reformer whose ideas have been influential in education and social reform. He is regarded as one of the most prominent American scholars in the first half of the 20th century. I mean, maybe I know him from Studying education. I feel like this is an education thing. Yeah. Education reform. Yeah, that's probably where I know him from. Barriers are dissolved. This is what he says about, he implies that art is an experience. Barriers are dissolved, limiting prejudices melt away when we enter into the spirit of Negro or Polynesian art. Oh, excuse me. I think he meant Negro or Polynesian art. Oh my God, this quote. These insensible melting is far more affectatious than the changes effected by reasoning because it enters directly into attitude. This is especially important in our highly globalized world. Art has played an important role in helping fight against intolerance of different cultures, racism, and other forms of unjust societal segregation. With immigration becoming a growing trend, the world's countries are expected to be more tolerant and accepting of those who enter their borders. Art helps make that happen by making sure the identities and their cultures are given due recognition around the world. See, I think they have this backwards because showing that all these different cultures have their own kind of art and culture shows that nationalities are distinct and different, and there's nothing wrong with like having nationalism because all of these nations have their own kinds of art and culture, and that's why they're so great, and that's why there is appreciation. We're not one giant melting pot. Anyway, just chugging that coffee. Let's see where else they go in this. This is especially important. I already read that. I mean, if you just think about it, and you think about it for Western culture, this is their point of keeping their culture. When I say they, I mean other because they're bitching about racism and cultural appropriation, appreciation, that kind of stuff, and they're just talking about art and how it helps make sure that their identities and their cultures are given due recognition around the world. And that should be also something that Westerners think about, Europeans think about, is making sure that they have art that can represent their identity and their culture, and that it's recognized around the world. Like, that is, you know what? Let's take what the left are saying and, do it for ourselves. So, I mean, that's not, what they're saying is not bad, but it's just, annoying because it's always about, everyone else's art and culture. It's never about ours. So, well, you know what? If we want to, recognize identities and the art in that culture, we have some too, and the right should appreciate that and support that and encourage that. Otherwise, we forfeit it to all these other people creating this art of other cultures. Why is art so powerful? Perhaps the simplest answer to this question is that art touches us emotionally. Art is powerful because it can potentially influence our culture, politics, and even the economy. When we see a powerful work of art, you feel it touching deep within your core, giving us the power to make real-life changes. In the words of Leo Tolstoy, the activity of art is based on the capacity of people to infect others with their own emotions and to be infected by the emotions of others. Strong emotions, weak emotions, important emotions, or irrelevant emotions, good emotions or bad emotions, if they contaminate the reader, the spectator, or the listener, it attains the function of art. So yeah, it has the ability to have an effect on people. It affects people. And that's a really powerful thing. Sorry. Let me just close that. In In some, art can be considered powerful because of the following reasons, among others. It has the power to educate people about almost anything. It can create awareness and present information in a way that could be absorbed by many easily. Memes. In a world where there are those who don't even have to access a good education, art makes education an even greater equalizer of society. Memes. It promotes cultural appreciation. Oh wow, look, they said a cultural appreciation. They normally get rid of that word for appropriation. Among a generation that's currently preoccupied with their technology, in fact, it can be said that if it weren't for art, our society, culture, and traditions would be in danger of being forgotten than they already are. Again, it's important to recognize that fact. The left can recognize it. This is obviously written by a leftist because of, like, above paragraph, they were saying some pretty lefty type stuff about racism and whatever, blah, 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 cultural respect, cultural appreciation stuff, appropriation stuff. So, to me, I think this is definitely written by a leftist. So, it's interesting that they point this out. It's not wrong, and this is what the right should remember and should think about. So, I'm going to read it again. It promotes cultural appreciation. So if we're talking about a culture war, or we're talking about culture or civilization or any of this stuff, it's important for us to have that on our side. Among a generation that's currently preoccupied with their technology, true. In fact, it can be said that if it weren't for art, our history, culture, and traditions, isn't that what we're about? Our history, our culture, our traditions, okay, trad people, it would be more in danger of being forgotten more than they already are if it weren't for art. So that's something that the left are noticing and acknowledging. So it's important for the right to notice and acknowledge that as well. Okay. It breaks cultural, social, and economic barriers. While art can't really solve poverty or promote social justice on its own, it can be used as a leveled playing field for discourse and expression. The reason why everyone can relate to art is that everyone has emotions and personal experiences. Therefore, anyone can learn to appreciate art regardless of their social background, economic standing, or political affiliation. I guess. Depends on the art. It accesses higher orders of thinking. Art doesn't just make you absorb information, rather it makes you think about current ideas and inspire you to make your own. This is why creativity is a form of intelligence. It is a special ability that unlocks the potentials of the human mind. In fact, studies have shown that exposure to art can make you better in other fields of knowledge. The truth is that people have recognized how powerful art can be. Many times in history, we have heard of people being criticized, threatened, censored, and even killed because of their artwork. Those responsible for these reactions, may it be belligerent government or a dissident group, take these measures against artists, knowing how much their works can affect the politics in a given area. Sorry, it just made me think again. I get like stumbled when I start thinking too much what I'm saying, because I'm just like, oh my god, it just made me think about how my art is like censored or whatever because they like blacklisted me out of the industry. I mean, it's mostly just to ruin my career on a personal level and financially, and less so about what my art represents and trying to shut that down. But still, it made me like think about it for a second. I was like, in the hands of good people, however, art can be used to give back hope or instill courage in a society that's undergoing a lot of hardships. I mean, this is actually pretty good. It's an interesting blog that they have going on there. You guys aren't really saying much, but we have 31 people in here, so let's see where we're at. At 34%. I wanted to be at 50, but I'm almost done with the stream. I mean, not 50, 40. I wanted to be at 40. 45 tomorrow. Can we do that? Yeah, I'm going to be done with the stream in a few minutes. I'm going to have to think of plan B if I can't get any money. Guys aren't even chatting about what I'm saying. I'm saying so many good things. We're talking about art and society and culture. Great art elicits powerful sentiments and tells meaningful stories. Art can take the form of film, music, theater, and pop culture, all of which aim to entertain and make people happy. But when films, songs, or plays are made for a specific audience or purpose, the art begins to diversify. Ooh. Films, for example, can be made to spread awareness or cultural appreciation. Songs can also be composed in a way that they bring out certain emotions, give inspiration, or boost the morale of people. During the Victorian period in England, women started to make a name for themselves with such classic artwork such as Elizabeth Sirianni's Portia wounding her thigh, a painting that signifies the message that a woman is now willing to distance herself from gender biasness. Ooh. Oh my god. The painting's subject depicts an act of a woman possessing the same strength as that of a man. Portia represents surrender because she isn't the same type of woman known in society as weak and prone to gossip. One of the revolutionary works in the history that ultimately opened the doors of arts to women in general, ultimately showed the power of women in art. There are also works of art that elicit strong intellectual discourse, the kind that can question norms and change the behavior of society. Sometimes still, art is simply there to reach out to a person who shares the same thoughts, feelings, and experiences as the artist. The truth is that art is more than just a practice, it's a way of life. Art is more than just a skill, it's a passion. Art is more than just an image, each one tells a story. The fact that art is quite connected to human experience makes it unsurprising that we have always made it part of our ways of living. This is why ancient and present-day indigenous groups from all over the world have a knack for mixing art and their traditional artifacts or rituals without them knowing, which in fact one of the fundamental reasons of why art is important. Yeah. Represents culture and society of the day and influences. Oh, this is cool. They have this little like art as therapy chart. This is cute. Appreciation art helps us revisit the value of ordinary things like pretty colors, and a splash of morning light on a tablecloth, or the familiar and nostalgic aspects of old beer cans. Art embraces appreciation. Memory art focuses on the essence of the scene rather than the whole of it. You know, memory, hope, sorrow, rebalancing, self-understanding, growth. It's a cute little chart, actually. Damn, this is kind of long. It's pretty good, though. It's a good little article. Let me bring that up. So this guy is what Hollywood God is talking about. Swiss painter, best known for airbrush images of humans and machines linked together in a cold biochemical relationship. Later, he abandoned airbrush work for pastels, markers, and ink. He was part of the special effects team that won an Academy Award for design work on the film Alien. Cool! I actually have an airbrush machine myself. I like airbrush. I did zombie airbrush makeup. It's in storage, though. So it's like technology, human kind of stuff. Cool. I mean, people are going to freak out about that one, but yeah. It's all just there to represent stuff. Yeah, it's really cool. It reminds me of a picture that I've had as like a cover photo one time that had something similar in concept to this. Cool. His stuff is kind of controversial. How? How so? How so? Oop. Oh my god. The famous Swiss artist passed away earlier this week, but he leaves behind an alien creature more terrifying than any other. The horrible philosophy behind the star of Alien. Unlike many of its galactic fellows, the xenomorph doesn't fly around in a spotless ship of unfathomable technology. Geiger's creature is a filthy primal parasite whose very survival is contingent on its continued rape and exploitation of other species. Oh my! And the Academy Award-winning Swiss artist H.R. Geiger passed away on Monday. He left behind among his endless menagerie of horrors across a wide array of media, including painting, film, sculpture, and music. One of the most unique depictions of alien life ever put to screen. The titular alien anyway, whatever. They're calling it Xenomorph, from Ridley Scott's 1979 science fiction horror classic, wasn't inspired by the stars. Instead, it came from deep within mankind and somehow developed into something more alien and terrifying than anything from the unknown. Okay, so what's the point? Where did it come from? The idea of the enlightened alien is an inherently optimistic reflection of humanity. The mental capacity and enlightenment through which the alien have achieved interstellar cooperation with other races, such as in Star Trek's. Alright, I don't know. Alright, well, whatever. Are they trying to say that, like, it's so terrible and rapey? Represents humanity as a whole. Okay, guys. Well, it's been 2 hours, and sounds interesting. Can you put that link up? Yeah, sure. Let me find it again. Where is it? This one. Okay. I've got the H.R. Geiger Taschen art book. If anyone wants to just leave a message on my channel, it's great. It's in great condition, UK only. Wow, cool. Yeah, guys, I might get out of here unless anyone has more conversation they want to go over. Don't forget, we got the Streamlabs. Wanted to hit 40% today. We'll see. I'll wait 2 minutes. Let me know if you guys have anything else you want to talk about. Just fix my hair. Time flies. I know it does. I would stay on longer, but it's like, unless I'm making money, like, stop wasting content. It's always tomorrow to stream. What are we doing tomorrow? Art history. Thanks, Jay. Thanks. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe YouTube's messing with my channel. Maybe people don't really care about art and culture. I don't know. right. I'm gonna get out of here. Bye, guys. Love ya. See ya tomorrow. We're gonna do art history tomorrow. Bye.